Hi everyone, thanks for joining us tonight. This is this morning for me. I'm Phil. I'm going to read through a few of my works in this video. I'm going to try and do it all in one take, so you'll have to forgive any mistakes. I'm too simplistic to download any complicated apps on my phone. So here we are up on Mount Hobson. My thought this evening was to do a bit of exploring, both with words, with sounds, with locations. So here we are on top of Mount Hobson, and the first piece I'm going to read for you tonight is a little piece called Irony. And I read this at Poetry Live on the open mic maybe about a year ago. I said, well, I hope I do a better definition of it than Alanis Morissette. So you'll have to be the judge of that. But I'm not claiming to be precise about it. Irony. Heavy is the heart that bears the lightest load. Confused, the feet that walk the straightest road. Spores of complication entrap simplistic aims. Enmity develops when the peacemaker shuns blame. Desire, the fuel of flames that consume dreams. Ambition, a cudgel undiscerning to extremes. Scorn of death, a fortress into which life cannot soak. Ethics of liaison, to rapport, a vice-like choke. A searing blast, the muted breath that seeks to cool a rage. The voice of cold oppression, not a wise and noble sage. Futility, the search for spirit's source and chosen end. Worth grounded in intention, on redundancy depends. Okay, on that philosophical note, here we are on the edge of Mount Hobson, looking down over Mount Eden, and the point of standing here is that it is on the edge, which, oh, by the way, happens to be the title of my next poem. This is written in the Sestina format. It's a format where you choose 6 key words and recycle them throughout the course of the poem. It's kind of more of a written form than a spoken one, but I do think it works quite well as well as a spoken form, because the constant recycling of the words puts them in different contexts at different points, and I think the listener can get a sense of how those words can be applied in different ways. So the 6 words I've chosen for this sestina is precipice, step, choice, difficult, unknowns, and familiar. Just trying to touch on the themes of life where we can sometimes feel like every moment is a decision, every moment is on the edge. We can, the past is gone once we've moved on from it, and in that sense, it is a bit of an edge that we're stepping off at every moment in time. The edge. Walking on a precipice, carefully calculate each precious step. To control or fall, a Faustian choice that renders neither as less difficult, but as filtered, precise scales of unknowns, each notch so hauntingly familiar. Gauntlets run, so familiar. Heed calls for greatness from the precipice, a soul-piercing howl from the great unknown. Infinite multiples of the next step, timidly evading the difficult, and in so doing, negating all choice. Weigh the factors in the choice, ignorant even of the familiar. Divide between assured and difficult. Meanwhile, the omnipresent precipice haunts the silent darkness in each feigned step. Souls grind gravel of evaded unknowns. All these troublesome unknowns, imposing heaviness on every choice, the urge to flee incites each bustling step, grappling with the grasp of the familiar while teetering on the stark precipice. Comfort does not nullify difficult. Weapons, slow and difficult, arduous training with ending unknown, fate rests on a shiny steel precipice, to kill or be killed, a prophetic choice that holds no ties to the familiar, tides of rhythmic, negotiated steps. The first is the hardest. Taste conflict between hard and difficult. The devil you know, so safe, familiar, buttressed by fear of imagined unknowns, materialized by vain, wistful choice. To stay paralyzed by the precipice. The desperate desire to step freely into unknowns. Eloped with reminders of the difficult path to this choice. This familiar, comfortable, precarious precipice.